Hey everyone, it's Kenton Becker, American Pacific Mortgage. I'm here again with another weekly video update for you. I was just completing some of my registration forms for my home buyer class tonight, getting ready to scan them out to some of our attendees. And I had a question that came in on the class they were specifically asking about seller credits and how seller credits actually work. Really, more the question was specific to, is it better to ask the seller to buy down the interest rate, or is it better to ask them to lower the price of the house? It's a great question. What actually gives you the most benefit as a buyer? So at the end of the day, the biggest benefit for you is most likely going to come from buying the interest rate down. Because if you were to go from, let's say, an interest rate of 7% down to 6.5%, that can provide a pretty big monthly savings for you that would be larger than even lowering the purchase price by $10,000 or $20,000. And generally, the cost to buy down the interest rate pretty aggressively, you're probably looking at around 2% to be able to buy down that interest rate. And on let's say a $500,000 house, it's going to cost about $10,000. So when we ask the question, well, okay, what will 2% buy the interest rate down? It definitely might buy that interest rate down by a full 0.5% or 1/4% or more. So you can get a pretty big benefit from buying the interest rate down that amount. And I would say it's definitely worth it, especially compared to just lowering the price of the house, only $10,000. Hopefully you can stitch this. Now, what happens if you have a seller that is really motivated though? I mean, they've already lowered their price. Their home is sat for 30 days or 3 weeks or 2 weeks even, and they are super motivated. Now, what do you do? Because maybe asking them just for $10,000 is not enough. This is where I would incorporate the 2-1 buy down. Oh, big sneeze. Okay. Now, the 2-1 buy down is going to cost the seller usually around $10,000 to $15,000 to do this. And I've talked about the 2-1 buy down actually on these weekly tips, but this is where you could actually utilize both. You could get the 2-1 buy down and have them maybe cover some of your closing costs or buying your interest rate down even further. If you were to actually get the seller to agree to cover, $15,000, $20,000 worth, you could not only get them to lower the interest rate with the 2-1 buy down by 2% the first year and 1% lower the second year, which would be a huge savings for the first couple years. But then any money that was over and above that buy down cost could actually go towards your closing costs and maybe even buy your interest rate down even further. But at the end of the day, I would say it's in this order. If you can only get the seller to drop the price of the house, by all means do that. But if you can get the seller to actually cover some of your closing costs, or also including buying your interest rate down, do that. That's even better. But if you can get the seller to cover a 2-1 buy down, that's going to be the biggest bang for your buck to actually lower your monthly payment and give you the biggest savings. So hopefully that gives you a few different options. We got a lot of motivated sellers out there. Granted, there are some homes out there that are priced right and they're priced to sell, but we also have some sellers out there that maybe their home is sat for a couple weeks, are prime for getting them to cover your closing costs and cover your 2-1 buy down. So if you're looking to buy right now and get into a home like that, there's some sellers out there that are going to be motivated. So give me a call if I can help with anything. Comment below if you have any questions, and make sure you like and subscribe as well so you can see more weekly tips like this. Thanks so much for joining me this week. Have a great week.